All right, so here we are at the last scene of Act 3, which is famously known as the closet scene. It's where Hamlet confronts his mother. The play is going to actually move very quickly from this point on because it's kind of like once Hamlet behaves so badly at the play and reveals before the whole court, Claudius reveals that he is a usurping king, everything moves at a super fast speed. After the play, Hamlet is called into his mother's bedroom to sort of answer for the things he's been doing against her husband and his stepfather. But the scene opens with Polonius and Gertrude in the room together. He is coming there to lecture her, because he likes to tell people what to do, how she should be round to him, how she should get on to him. And Gertrude is very upset because she wants the men in her life to get along, and she probably likes being queen too, and Hamlet is endangering that. So she tells him to withdraw. I hear him coming. And Polonius, pulls out one of his old tricks. He hides behind a curtain to listen to the private conversation between the mother and her son. Hamlet comes in shameless, acts like he doesn't even know why he's there. What's the matter, is what he asks. It's obvious what's the matter. The whole court is in an uproar because you've exposed the king as a false king. He's belligerent to her. He is very scornful, disrespectful, sarcastic, and she's very angry at the treatment she's receiving from him, so she tries to leave. Remember that his blood is hot. He just delayed killing Claudius while he was not praying. And Hamlet has to get very aggressive with his mother, just like he got aggressive with Ophelia, and he forces her to sit down into a chair and pulls out her sword, pulls out his sword and threatens her. And this all happens so fast when the scene begins. She's frightened by Hamlet's hot blood, and she screams murder. And Polonius calls out the word murder as well, and Hamlet realizes he's being spied on. He's had enough of this, and he just stabs the curtain. Stabs whoever is hiding behind that curtain, or Eris, right through the curtain. Doesn't even know what he's doing in some ways. And Polonius dies. This is the major point that happens in Act 3, right? Once he's killed Polonius, there's no going back. He's killed the king's prime minister in the queen's bedroom, and this is all evidence that he's gone insane. It is bad for Claudius. It implies that he can't control Hamlet or protect his own wife, and therefore why should he be trusted to run the whole state? It's something that can't be taken back. You can't unspill Polonius' death. And Polonius was a kind of comic figure, and a lot of people see it as this is where comedy in the plays dies. And we're not even talking about how Polonius' death at the hands of Hamlet, Ophelia's boyfriend, will actually affect Ophelia, and that's something we'll see the aftershocks of when we get into Act 4. So Hamlet, reveals from the curtain who he's killed, and he's kind of sorry, not sorry, that he killed Polonius. On the one hand, he thinks Polonius got what he deserved. Thou findest to be busy is some danger. You busybody, you got what was coming to you. But on the other hand, as he's leaving the scene, he tells his mom that this man will send me packing. He knows that he has to be punished for killing Polonius, and he's probably going to be exiled for it. And how do you accomplish your revenge when you've been exiled from the country? Hamlet sees the body, has his sort of momentary, feels sorry for it, but immediately turns back to his mother and starts confronting her with marrying a murderer, a usurper to the throne, and the killer of her first husband. A lot of students always ask, did Gertrude know this? And the answer is always no. Gertrude did not know this. This scene is always information that really affects her deeply. He tries very hard to be in control of his emotions when he's talking to his mother and to not harm her, although he came very close to it. But he is always insulting and being scornful to her. Hamlet always wears a portrait of his father around his neck, and around Gertrude's neck is a portrait of Claudius. So Hamlet, in a very condescending way, kind of holds up these two portraits to his mother and gives her a little lecture on this was your husband, this is your husband. When he describes his father, he uses lots of godlike imagery, making his father seem like the ultimate man. And when he describes Claudius, he compares him to like a swamp, a fen, a goat man, things like that. And it's very shocking to Gertrude to hear this news that she'd never heard before. Hamlet's speeches go on. I mean, he rambles for quite a long time yelling at her. But the speech does work. She is very convicted. She feels as if she can see the dark spots on her sinful heart. But Hamlet, even when she admits that she was wrong, kind of is on a roll and keeps saying horrible things about their marriage bed and about what a king of shreds and patches Claudius is. And it gets so kind of over the top, you wonder what can stop Hamlet from like this rising crescendo of rage, and it's the ghost. The ghost appears for the second time in the play and for the last time. Some believe that the ghost is really there. Hamlet sees it, and it's there to stop Hamlet from hurting his mother because he told him not to contrive against his mother aught. And others believe that, like Gertrude, the ghost is not really there, and that Hamlet has a heat-oppressed brain, and he's hallucinating out of madness, grief, or fury. And some people think the ghost is really there and Gertrude can't see it because she betrayed the ghost and she doesn't have the right to see the ghost. It's kind of a mysterious thing, as many things in this play are. But when Hamlet sees the ghost and starts talking to it and Gertrude can't see it, she immediately starts thinking he's crazy. I mean, he just killed Polonius. Maybe he's wrong to say that Claudius actually killed the previous king. So there's this moment, where Hamlet's in danger of losing his mother when he's actually kind of won her over to this side. So the ghost tells Hamlet that he's there because he's taking too long to do his revenge, and that he's there to whet or sharpen Hamlet's dull purpose. And then he tells the ghost tells him to look after his mother. And so Hamlet realizes in talking to his mother that she can't see the ghost and that he looks crazy. So he makes her feel his pulse to know that he is not crazy. And he has to get his mother back on his side, and he does eventually. And he tells her, kind of interesting, the ghost gave commands to Hamlet, Hamlet gives commands to his mother. He tells her to promise not to tell Claudius that Hamlet is only pretending to be mad and isn't really insane. In other words, to keep the illusion going. And he also, this has always puzzled critics, tells her not to go back to bed with Claudius. His obsession with his mother's sex life is one of the things that is a little disturbing in the play. Gertrude agrees to those two statements, and then she reminds him that he's going to be exiled and escorted out of the country by Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. And Hamlet reveals a plot point for Act 4 and 5 where he says, I'm going to dig a couple of yards below their trap and blow them at the moon. He's going to hoist them by their own petard, is usually the famous phrase that he's there. He sees the body of Polonius, expresses some regret for killing him, and drags the body from the room. Notice this happens in Shakespeare a lot. They always take bodies off the stage, and there's a very simple reason for it. In Shakespeare's day, there was no lights, there was no curtain. It would ruin the illusion of the dead body if Polonius suddenly got up and walked off, so Hamlet drags the body out. And this is the end of the scene, and the end of the act. But there is no time that passes between Act 3 and Act 4. As Hamlet drags the body of Polonius out, Claudius comes running in to ask Gertrude what happened, and suddenly we're in Act 4.